This podcast is intended for mature audiences and is not considered appropriate for enjoyment in the workplace.
You can stop the search for something intellectual and fulfilling. You've tuned into the Diary of a Bald Man, and there is no going back. Let the moaning, groaning, and bitching begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Did you know? Your brain is not designed to store everything you experience. It's designed to keep you moving forward. When thoughts, stress, or unfinished moments stay in your head, your brain keeps trying to solve them in the background. That's why you replay conversations or feel tension from things that happened days ago. Writing things down doesn't just help you remember. It tells your brain, you can let this go for now. It's been captured. So the question is, what are you still carrying that your mind is tired of holding?
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. You're listening to Diary of a Bald Man. This is Allen Woffard, your host. So those that are new or just joining us, for those that have been with me for years and years, you might be excited to know that the show will be back in the People's Choice Podcast Awards for 2026. So for those that are new or just joining us, thank you for being here. But in 2023-2024 timeframe, our show made the top 10 under society and culture for the People's Choice Podcast Awards. So thank you for everybody that's listened, supported, voted, participated, sent in emails, different, things that you'd like to see here or participate with on the podcast. Thank you. Because of you and my voice, we're making it back into the People's Choice. So hopefully, we continue to develop and grow and provide information or dialogue that benefits people. There's so much that can be done with just really good communication, so much that can be done by sharing information, things of that nature. But just to go into, what we've accomplished, in the last week, for those that don't know, I'm a senior safety project safety manager for Evans General Contractors. I'm currently working on a project in Jonesboro, Tennessee. So met some really interesting new people that are coming out there. We broke ground on our Greenfield site. So there's excitement in that because you're taking dirt space. You're taking an environment with nothing in it and changing and modifying it for it to be, basically a habitat or an environment for production, manufacturing, job opportunities. Yes, there's some people that have hesitation on anything of that nature, and it's because you don't know the kind of impact that it will have on the environment, on the people around it. But, you try to be optimistic and you try to do the best things that you can, and we'll go and advance from there. Excuse me. So again, when we're thinking about society and culture, with the past 4-5 podcasts alone, we have seen a tremendous growth, especially in Europe, Southeast Asia, the Pacific, and in some areas where we're already expanded. And if you don't know our full platform footprint, go to the diaryofabaldman.com, and as you scroll down, you'll see a map of listeners. And where we get this is not just from the Spotify analytics, but from iTunes, different platforms in which the show's hosted, iHeartRadio, things of that nature. But we're all over Europe. We're all over Micronesia, the South Pacific, Alaska, almost every state in the continental United States, with a couple of exceptions, just due to the, number of persons maybe in that area are even interested in a podcast. So, it's a great thing when we're able to spread and share that information. But like with a couple of the most recent episodes that really tipped the iceberg in our favor, when we did the Ink, Ice, and Memory, Why We Drill to Survive, for some reason, the people that are into the culture of being inked, such as myself, have found that to be a great way to say, yeah, this was an important episode or time frame that I experienced. And now you get to see it visually through an infograph on my body. Another one we found out that, really benefited some people was an episode on burnout starts with yes and why no might save you. For some reason, with the listeners that we developed through LinkedIn, if you're not familiar with LinkedIn, it's a professionals site basically for people employed, looking for employment, things like that. It's strange how when we changed the show for 2026, we started getting information and sharing it and putting it out there, that really benefited people. And if you looked at the Facebook page, the very last episode that we produced, you can't get their one. I was going to say 33, but the last two were people that wanted to interview based off that. We had numerous people that said, this was a great episode. It made me think about where I got comfortable and I got complacent and I got to the point where I was like, the location, the environment, the people I wanted around me is not where I'm at now. And they found their way. They already had it. They already had a compass setting. They just didn't know how to take that first step until they realized that they wanted more. And when we get back, we're going to go into this episode of Write It Down Before It Rewrites You, why documenting your thoughts might be the most overlooked tool for growth, stress, and real-life clarity. And we'll be back in just a moment. Don't go away.
Did you know? Most emotional reactions aren't just about what's happening right now. They're often connected to something unresolved from earlier moments, or even years ago. Your brain links patterns, and when something feels familiar, it reacts faster than you can think. That's why small things sometimes trigger big responses. But when you take the time to write things down, you slow that process. You create space between the trigger and the reaction. And sometimes, that space is enough to change the outcome.
Okay, guys, and we're back. Again, this is Allen Woffard. You're listening to Diary of a Bald Man. So there's something strange about how we operate as people. Just yesterday, I was outside doing yard work while I'm here at home on my staycation, just taking a break. And my mind wandered like it usually does. I started reflecting about my life, what I'd do differently, and what actually matters. And then it hit me. We document everything that matters, in most cases, except the things that affect us the most. On a job site with safety, nothing gets missed. Incidents are logged, near misses are reviewed, equipment is checked, documented, and tracked. We do that, not just for a quality thing, but in order to keep the site safe. Because we understand something simple. If it's not written down, it didn't happen. But when it comes to our own lives, our reactions, our stress, our bad days, our anger, and our confusion, we don't document any of that shit. We carry it in our gray matter, replaying it over and over and over. Most people think that stress comes from what's happening right now, and I call bullshit on that. That's only part of the truth. A lot of what we feel comes from things that never got finished in our life. Conversations we never had, moments we've never processed, and reactions we never understood. And I went through this personally when my mother Linda passed away, because I didn't know her. So a lot of anger and frustration. So these emotions sit there, festering, quiet, unorganized, until something small happens and suddenly it's not a small event anymore. Somebody lit that fuse and it is firing up. Now you're reacting harder than you or I expected. Now we're frustrated and we don't understand why. And now we are carrying something that didn't even start today. That's not a weakness. That's just unfinished business. So let's clear something up right now. This isn't about journaling your feelings with soft music, bullshit playing in the background. It's more like trying to align our chakras with a bulldozer. This isn't therapy. This isn't a cure. This isn't some miracle fix. This is hard documentation. The same way you would document an incident at work, or your favorite recipe, or your favorite cocktail, you're documenting what you enjoyed or what happened to you. Because when something stays in your head, it spins and goes out of control. When it's written down, you can actually see it, hold it, and control it. And once you can see it, you can truly question it, just like you would on a test. You could review it to look for all the potential outcomes, what you could have done differently, what you can learn from it, instead of reliving it over and over and over again. Because that's taking up time and space that you don't need to have filled up with bullshit. You need to reload. And here's the part that hit me. I start thinking about all the things I'd do differently if I had more time, more freedom, or won the lottery. And then I realized I didn't need any of that shit to start this. You can write one paragraph today. You can write one document of things you enjoyed, things that bothered you, things that you'd like to do, and document that moment today. And that was for me. So now it's kind of a journal. It's not a diary, but it's a control mechanism. So instead of festering about issues at work, people that, we need to assist or they're out of place, we have it so as a reminder, hey, I can put this down for now. Focus on getting the pool open. Focus on getting these seeds planted so we can have our garden. Focus on my animals. We don't have to fix our whole life. We just have to stop letting it go undocumented so that we can control the outcome. It's one great thing to have a journal, to have a plan, to have a calendar, to remind us of things. And when we put it and document it and sheet it or put it into our database, we can move it around when the opportunity and the best time comes up that we can do that. We can also use it as a goal to move forward to. This isn't theory. This is happening every single day. Families caring for aging parents, tracking memory lapses, mood changes, medication effects. That's one of the things like I talked about with my parents. My dad's documenting because where mom's dementia and Alzheimer's coming up, not only does it help him remember or verify or quantify events that did or didn't happen, when he goes to see her doctors and they say, hey, you were here a month ago, any changes that you note? Is the medication making her sleepy? Is it making her more aware? Does she have various events happening? Does it affect her blood pressure? Things of that nature. Things that memories get replaced every day because we watch this and it's like, shit, what did I have for breakfast? I don't care. Now I got to think about, supper. Because memory isn't always reliable. But written records are. Veterans like myself and others, workers dealing with high-stress environments, we're trying to understand why certain situations trigger strong reactions. Why do we snap at the dogs and children for doing what pets and children do? I mean, it makes sense, right? A dog's going to bark. We yell at it to stop. We don't ask, what's wrong? Why are you barking? To look and see what created it. When kids scream and cry, do they have to go to the bathroom? Can they communicate? Do they have verbal skills? Or are we just mad because of the noise and the frequency? We're not trying to erase the past, but to understand what sets things off. What lit our fuse? Why did we explode when normally we don't? Is it too much stimuli? Is it too little? And we try to think and think and think when we could write down, hey, I blew up on the kid. He was screaming. Dogs started barking. Spilt coffee. I did this. I did that. And now we're like, that's what lit the fuse. All these different forms of friction created the heat that ignited me. Well, I need to go and apologize to the dog, to that, right? We're not saying, hey, we were wrong in our assessment and how we responded, but we're reflecting and looking because we have it documented now. Hey, that was not the kid's fault. I should have asked, do you have to use the bathroom? Did you get stung? Did the dog sit on you? Things like that. We have to look at what occurred and reflect on that for ourselves. And again, not to erase the past, but to understand what set things off. People in remote areas do this all the time, or people who don't have someone to talk to. They'll journal, they'll document, so if something happens, people know what they were doing, how they were doing it, and what may have happened. And we still need, ways to get things out without judgment, without pressure, and without an audience. This is for us. But if people come in on us and we're not around, they could see what led to those events. Unfortunately, we hope that we don't come up on someone that's no longer around due to a self-inflicted accident or self-inflicted punishment, because we want to be there to help people get out of that mode, to look at their journal, to look at that and say, hey, you felt bad on these days. What was the weather like? Did you get sunlight? Were you fed? What are the things that make you and I better, and what are some of the things that make us worse? And if we document and write it down, we can say, I need to stay away from this type of environment, this type of personnel. I need to drink less coffee this time of the day. But it's not something we're always going to remember, because memories get replaced by new events, by new memories, new encounters. Most people think anger is about what just happened, and sometimes it is, but sometimes it's something older from past events that are showing up in a new moment, because we never dealt with them. We never completed them. And if you never stop long enough to look at it through your journal or documentation, you'll keep reacting to it because you forgot to set aside and put a lock on that trigger. Documentation changes that, not overnight, but over time. So let's not overcomplicate this. Let's not turn it into something it's not. We can call it a log, a diary, a hit list for emotional baggage, or a daily emotional inventory, but we need to put it in its place so it's not bouncing around inside and between our ears, creating additional friction and chaos. Call it whatever makes you not roll your eyes and ignore it, but keep it simple. What happened? What did I feel? What did I do after I had those feelings? Was it justified? And what would I do differently next time? That's it. There's no audience, no pressure to perform, no perfection, just your own internal honesty. We talk and spend a lot of time, having conversations about growth, moving forward, doing better, and being better. But here's the part most people skip. You cannot move forward if your mind keeps dragging unfinished business behind you like a parachute in a hurricane of thoughts. This isn't about fixing everything. It's about finishing some things and controlling the end of that story. Even if it's just understanding it a little more than you did yesterday. Before we go, here's something to think about before this episode ends. What's something you've been carrying that you've never actually taken the time to write down that would lighten your emotional load and go into a format that you can lift, toss, burn, or shred with one hand? That's all it takes. And if you want to share that, document it, email me at diaryofabaldman1968@gmail.com. And we'll share your story and see who in the community is going through the same thing and maybe get some input from them. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed the show, please rate it, review it on your favorite platform, share the information, email me, communicate, document, and enjoy your day. Thank you for listening. God bless. Now get the fuck out of here and enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you next week.
I'm gone, 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 gone. Yeah, I'm gone, 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 gone. 'Cause I'm gone, 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 gone. Yeah, I'm gone, 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 gone. So see you later, alligator. Ain't no crowd, baby. Yeah, I'm on trial, baby. So see you later, alligator.
You've been listening to the Diary of a Bald Man. How do you feel? A little dizzy? Maybe a little nauseous? That was one hell of a ride, I know. It's our passion to make you feel as uncomfortable as possible. We hope you've enjoyed the show. We know we had a blast. Make sure to like, rate, and review the show. We'll be back soon, but in the meantime, Google Allen the Safety Guy. You'll find all the socials there. Connect with us, or else. See you next time on Diary of a Bald Man.